Oh my God, I was on mute the whole time. I did it again. Darn it. I was on mute. I'm so sorry about that, guys. When you're doing so much at one time, it is a lot. People think that live streaming is easy, but it is not easy at all. You forget some things or what have you. So it is what it is. We're on live and we did it. So thank you guys so much for hopping on and watching. My name is Letitia Campbell and I'm your sales success strategist. What I do is I help coaches, consultants, service providers, anyone who wants to build an online business. I teach you guys how to package up your work, launch it to the world, and generate more sales online. And I have an amazing client that's about to hop on in the next couple of minutes. Her name is Alita Smith. She's the founder of Growth by Steps, a phenomenal woman, has been a client of mine for quite some time. And just last week, she had shared with the world that she has finally left her 9 to 5. Now, a lot of people think that that decision is something that's instant, but what she's going to be talking about on the show, on my episode 7 of my Launchpad show. Wow, we've just done 7 episodes. That is amazing, guys. But she's going to be talking to you guys about her journey, the process from when she first realized that she wanted to be financially independent and leave her job. She's a mother of 6 beautiful children. And that's, leaving your 9 to 5 when you have multiple children, 3 or more kids, you guys know it's not easy, right? Type in me if you guys know it's not something that's easy. There's a lot of factors, a lot of turning wheels that you have to think of because it's not just about you, it's about making sure that your children are financially stable as well. So I'm so super duper proud of her. She's going to hop on in just a second. Before she hops on, I want to talk to you guys about the process, right? We all have a process. Somebody type in the comments real quick. Process. We have to know that anything that we do in business and in life is a process. I always have conversations, particularly today. A lot of times we as women, we feel that what we know is not important or what we have to contribute to the world is nothing big or nothing major. And we sit back and we down ourselves so heavily. We shouldn't do that. We have to understand that what we are meant to do and what we're called to do, that's I like to put it in those terms, is meant to help expand somebody else's life, right? So, I get that a lot from women. Maybe you're feeling this way right now where you're totally down. You're wondering whether or not your business can be successful. You're wondering whether or not you can dominate. You all these factors are sort of like coming up in your mind. So you got to understand that building a business is a huge process. And y'all can give me a moment. I want to go to my notes real quick. So that way, before Alita comes on, you guys know I love to ramble. I want to make sure that I am not rambling too much. And if you're watching this live, please type in hashtag live. If you're watching this on the replay, please type in hashtag replay. So let me just find my notes here real quick. I had it all written down for you guys to make sure that I did not skip any steps. Okay, great. Here we go. So when it comes to the process, guys, and I'm going to actually be doing a special masterclass coming up this Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is go to camelsuccessnetwork.com and you'll get access. It says free training, and I'm going to break it down for you guys. Those of you who want to know what to sell online, I'm going to be teaching you guys that, and I'm going to I put a spin on it. I'm going to teach you guys to information on how to find out what you can really sell online without going broke. Because a lot of times we got an idea of what type of business we want, but then again, we end up going broke. You know what I'm saying? And that normally happens within the first year. And I don't want that to happen to you guys. Hey, Kathy's over here on the Zoom room. Thank you for hopping on. So when it comes to the process, guys, you got to trust the process, right? What I mean by trust is that you got to understand that success comes in stages. Somebody please type in the word stages. Success comes in stages. It's not something that you just have, you get on your phone, you go live and you start making money. It's not like that. You got to understand that in order for you to reach that success moment, you got to go through the stages. One thing that angers me, and I don't like to say that word anger, but it's the truth. I want to be honest with you guys. It angers me how some people would get started. They figured out what their niche is, or they figured out what they want to do, and then a month go by and they're like, wait a minute, why am I not rich yet? Right? Or they'll go live consistently for 21 days. They'll do a webinar and they're like, oh my God, nobody bought my stuff. I don't think what I'm doing is great. I don't think what I'm doing is important. Boo boo, you just started. You just started. Like, if you guys understand, everything that has ever happened majorly in history has all came from a starting point. And then there was a process. And then, yes, Kathy said you have to believe in yourself. Absolutely. Then there was a process, then another process, then another process. It's not instant. No success is microwavable. You know, even the people that are just hit social media hard and are making all this money, they would even tell you that they had a starting point that was 10 years ago or 20 years ago for some of them. So many people, guys, you gotta understand, they don't just come up and then all of a sudden they got all these followers, they're making all this money. It's a process. Everything you do in business is stages. And you know why most women are not successful? Because they don't want to go through the stages. They don't want to mess up. They don't want to hear no all the time. They don't want to have to work on technology. Like, even if you do hire somebody to do all your technical stuff, they don't want to do the work. And even today, I had a conversation with a young lady. She was looking up some VA stuff or what have you, and there was a bunch of other people doing the same thing. And I was like, wait a second, you have to know where you're at in your business first before you hire help. Can I talk about that real quick? Do you mind just type in, go ahead if you want me to talk about hiring help and really knowing that point in your business, whether you have the right to even ask for help. You guys got to understand that any amount of help that you get, you got to understand that that's profitable help. You hiring a virtual assistant to post for you all day, that's not profitable. Somebody type in not profitable. You understand? And the thing is that if you don't see, we don't want to do that stuff. We be like, you know what? Let me hire somebody, or let me get somebody to do this stuff for me so that I don't have to do it, because you don't want to go through that stage of going online, posting what you have to post, doing your market research, surfing through social media, looking at what your competition is doing. You don't want to do the work. And you got to do the work. Before you think that you're going to hire somebody to help you, you got to do the work. Somebody type in the word work. It takes work. And you have to trust the fact that all these stages is going to get you to be successful. You know, you guys know I'm a God girl, you know. I believe in God heavily. And I firmly believe, like, when I started off in business, you know, yes, there was not a lot of women of color that was successful at doing what I did. But I didn't allow that to stop me because I didn't have a blueprint. I didn't allow that to stop me because I knew that I had to start at a starting point and build from there. And I was willing to trust the process that God brought me to, because I could be still working right now. I had a great job. I could still be working at that job right now. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I wanted more. My path is way different. And I'm not saying that anything is wrong with working, but your path is always different, guys. So number one is trust the process. Number two is understand the process. I really feel that many of you guys don't understand why you're doing what you're doing. Most of us start businesses because it sounds great to have that entrepreneur in your Bible, in your bio. And, you know, it sounds great to call yourself a coach, right? It's a lot of ego trips going on around here. People are not understanding the process, right? They're not understanding that. Not only are they not understanding the process, they're also not understanding that the process is necessary. So for some of you guys, you're going to have to pay for coaching for 10 years, 20 years, or what have you, in order for you to go along the process. I know tons of entrepreneurs that are making millions of dollars and they still have a coach. They're still hiring, going through coaching programs. Never feel because you have not reached your moment that you don't still need help. Because while you're in the process and while you're realizing that the process is necessary, you got to stay in the conversation. Yeah, Kathy said too much ego. We need to align with value. Have to align with our values. You have to understand Why it is that you're doing what you're doing. What is the purpose of your business? Why is all these stages is so necessary? Because if I mean, I know a lot of people. Let me tell you something. And I want to share this real quick. So I know, hey, Jackie, I know a lot of people, guys, that started off in business and somehow they got a lump sum of money, right? They got a lump sum of money and they went straight to getting websites done. They went straight to getting funnels done. They went straight, got beautiful graphics and all that stuff. But then less than a year, their business failed. You know, they left their job, but then they ended up having to go back. You know why? Because they didn't feel that the process was necessary. We always want to take shortcuts. And I don't care if you want, if your business is fully funded by you, or maybe you have business credit, or maybe you had a large grip of money come in. No matter what, you still have to start right where we all have to start. You guys understand that? Just because somebody has more back-end money than you doesn't mean that they skip the processes. No, ma'am. Because branding is branding. Values is values. Integrity of your brand is integrity of your brand. They still have to build their audience, even if they buy followers, even if they're buying likes, even if they're buying engagement. It doesn't matter. They still have to go through the same stages as you. So be very careful, ladies, by you looking at all these other people and you're envying them because they have better graphics than you. They have more followers. They have a bigger fan base than you have. They still have to get out there and curate great content that makes people want to say, I want to buy what you have to offer. Why do you think Gary Vaynerchuk posts what he posts now, 3 to sometimes 5 times a day? And he's rich. But even with that, he knows that he still has to nurture his audience. He still has to curate content that gets people to hit that buy button. He still has to build that engagement. So we have to understand that it's so super duper important that we get the concept of that, listen, we got to understand this process is necessary. I will always have a coach. I will always be in a coaching program. For a very long time, I didn't know exactly what I was doing or what path I wanted to take, and I still had a coach. Because I refuse to watch other people be successful while I'm sitting in the bleachers. You can't do anything sitting in the bleachers. You can say, well, I went through this 6-week program, this 12-week program, I'm going to chill. No, you're sitting in the bleachers and watching all the other people playing the game and getting goals and getting touchdowns, right, and tackling. And you're sitting in a bleacher doing it on your own. And what happens when you do it on your own? You're always going to be sitting. And you're going to be talking to the crowd, and you're not going to do anything productive in your business. I know what happens. I know what happens, right? So you got to really understand that the process is necessary. We don't want to wake up at 4 a.m., but it's necessary. We don't want to, when people comment under our posts, we don't want to reach out and connect with them, but it's necessary, right? We don't want to do webinars every month, but it's necessary. Why I do what I do, ooh, I feel a chill coming up my spine. Why I do what I do today is not the fact why I like or dislike it, it's necessary. It's somebody type in, it's necessary. When you think of your business as I'm doing this because it's necessary, you're going to complain less, you're going to stay in the game more, and you're going to dominate. It's necessary. What we do every day is necessary. You may go live today, the next day, and the day after that, and it's nothing more than 5 people in your live. But you keep going live. Why? Tell me why, ladies. Tell me why. Tell me why. Let me make sure you're up. Tell me why. Tell me why. Come on. Bring it on in. Because it's what? Right. Because it's necessary. All that we do every day. Yes. Being consistent. Being engaged. Is being in a coaching program. Because this is necessary. Okay? And we got to understand that. Number three, okay, is that you have to thank God for the process. You have to thank him. Because at the end of the day, there's no shortcuts to this. And I always say, and this is something that's really good, and I'm sorry, guys, Alita may be a little bit late today. If she can't come on, if she's having some difficulties hopping on, we'll definitely have her on the show either tomorrow or next week. But here's the thing, ladies. You gotta thank God for the process. Because, you know, I'm going through a lot in my personal situation, right? But then I think back, and God told me this the other day. He was like, I'm allowing you to go through this so that you can save somebody else. So a lot of the stuff that y'all ladies are going through is not for you. It's for somebody else. And so if somebody else can look at you and say, you know what, I can do this because Kathy did it. I can do this because Jackie did it. I can do this because Darlene did it. I can do this because my mama did it. You hear what I'm saying? So when my kids go out there in the world and people tell them, you ain't going to be successful. You ain't going to make a lot of money. You crazy? They're going to look at this and say, boo, boo, bro. If my mama did it, I can do it too. I can do it 10 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you guys have to understand. So all this frustration, all this aggravation, all this stress, all this non-support from your spouse or your family members and friends, you got to understand that even going through that is necessary. So even in the moments of turmoil and grief and you putting yourself down as well, all this stuff is necessary. Because I promise you, this always happens probably 4 or 5 times a year to me, where somebody can tell me about an experience that I have gone through in the past, and I share with them my experience, and that propels them 20 steps forward because they saw that I survived it. They saw that I survived it. And it's so powerful. I had a conversation with my brother, before I hop off, I had a conversation with my brother the other day, and I'm not going to get emotional about it. But, you know, my brother and I, our relationship has gone through ups, downs, dips, and flows. But I was talking to him on Skype the other day. He lives in Alabama, it's like 18 hours away from me. And he just paused for a moment, and I was talking to his wife about a course that she's starting. And he just kept staring at me. You know, he just kept staring at me. And the way he looked at me, I understood why he stared at me in such a glaring stare and pause. My brother was so proud of me that he couldn't put it into words. He was so proud of me that I was so knowledgeable of everything that I was talking about that he could not put it into words. Let me tell you guys, y'all gonna shock your naysayers one day. You're going to have people in your life that won't be able to say nothing. Would not be able to put your success into words. So you know what? You keep trying. You keep trying. You find something that you're a reason why you're doing what you're doing. Don't fight. Don't try to defend yourself. Just keep going. Keep going. And let your, just like Beyonce said, let your success speak for you. Let your success be the intercessor for everything that you're doing. Because my brother could not even say or express how proud he was for me. But looking at his face, I knew how proud he was of me. Couldn't even say. So y'all just keep on, trust the process. Trust the process. I know it's hard. I know probably you have questioned yourself 50 times in a minute. But you have to keep going. Because why? Because it's necessary. Because it's necessary. And I love y'all to death. And again, I will have Alita hop on, sort of like do an encore with her tomorrow. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't know I was going to share that experience, but it meant a lot to me. And even after the conversation, I told my mother about it, you know, and it really, really touched me because this is not easy. It's just not easy. And I know for some of you guys, you have it hard, but let me tell you something. Be proud of yourself. Be proud that you can keep going. Because I'm telling you, we have 400 years of slavery. And just imagine what your great-great-great-great-grandmother will be telling you right now. Keep going. Keep going. Why? Because it's necessary. Because somebody fought for you to do what you do today. So make your life necessary. All right? Love y'all. Bye.